Why do the elites want children from sex traffickers? Adrenochrome. It is harvested from children for euphoric and life-enhancing benefit. This satanic cabal of Hollywood and political elites all need the adrenochrome to maintain their positions of power. And they will continue to do so until we stand up against them. Now, do you have any questions, Greg?
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in?
Cool, let's talk about the Illuminati for a second. So, back in the day within conspiracy theory circles, really most of the focus was really centered around this concept of the Illuminati, this secret underground shadow organization populated by global elites that was really responsible for all of the world's problems at the time. Now, one of the ways that you could get particularly famous within conspiracy theory circles was to claim to be an ex-Illuminati defector who used to be a member of the organization but then escaped and dedicated their lives to warning the public about all these hidden evils that exist in society. Now, one of the people that was particularly good at this was a woman named Svali, S-V-A-L-I. Now, Svali was on TV one time and she wrote a book, did a blog, but mostly she got famous for doing this series of interviews on one of those underground radio podcasty sort of shows, after which time she basically disappeared from the public eye. The host of that show, Greg Zizmansky, then came out and publicly said that he had lost track of Svali and he was worried that she had been murdered for exposing the Illuminati to the general public. This, I suspect, was a gigantic lie. I suspect that because not only was Svali not dead, she was not particularly difficult to track down at all. I know this because I did it. Within a couple hours one evening, I was able to find what Svali's real name was, where she lived, where she worked, the name of her family members, and basically what she had been up to for the past decade or so. Now, it's interesting to consider, like, if I was able to track her down in a couple hours, why weren't these high-powered Illuminati assassins able to take her out years ago? But that's beside the point. The interesting part of this is where the real conspiracy actually comes in. So I'm not going to expose Svali's real name on this platform, and I'm not going to do that because I have reason to suspect she might actually have been a victim here. Now, the stories that she tells about the Illuminati are impossible to believe. One, because they're really over-exaggerated, and they're also just not consistent even with themselves. But knowing what I know about her life and what she did for a living, I have reason to suspect she might actually have been the victim of some religious-based trauma. It's just the organization that traumatized her wasn't this global organization of elite New World Order Illuminati Satanists or whatever. It was something much smaller and local to her. So finding out what actually happened to her is really the interesting part. Like I said, I'm not going to expose her here, but I do follow her on a couple of my social media platforms, so there's that.
Once you want people to know that you're in Illuminati, that's when you get killed.
You think so?
So like subliminals, like
I think a lot of people were like getting ready to reveal a lot of stuff, and then out of nowhere you just hear about them dying.
Dude, that's facts, bro.
Or not even out of nowhere. Sometimes it's just like, or like you always see somebody like this person's getting ready to do something, or just and then out of nowhere they just disappear.
Or they get out of fame. Like,
yeah,
you know
or next time you see them, they just on drugs or something on the street, like rock bottom.
That's crazy.
What's really going on in Afghanistan and Israel? One thing you need to know, Israel is named after the Egyptian gods, Isis, Ra, and El. El is a generic term for God, taken from the Hebrew Bible. In Christianity, you have the books of Emmanuel, Daniel, Elijah, Ezekiel, Joel, and so on. You have the archangels, Michael and Gabriel. Presidents are elected. If you live long enough, you become an elder. And the people who control society are called the elite. It's even in the money. The US dollar sign works as a sigil for Isis, the Egyptian goddess. The pound symbol is just a combination of E and L. So what's really happening? Follow for part 2. What's actually going on in Afghanistan? Take a look at this photo. On the right you have Anton LaVey, the man who created the Church of Satan and brought it to the Western world as an organized religion. He is also the author of the Satanic Bible. On the left you have Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino, a high-ranking member of the U.S. Army. He created a different branch of the army called the Temple of Set, a satanic temple. Set is another Egyptian god. Set was a god of the desert, foreign lands, and eclipse, which ties in with Afghanistan. In 2008, there was a video going around of U.S. soldiers throwing a puppy off a cliff. The mainstream media said they did it because they were stressed out. The real reason, it was a sacrifice to Ares, the Greek god of war. Spartan soldiers would sacrifice a puppy to Ares as an offering before ritual combat. Part 3 coming soon. I assure you it will all make sense when this is over. The English language is a spell. English comes from Latin and was standardized at 26 characters after the fall of the Roman Empire, so English is the offspring of Latin. The term alphabet comes from the first two letters in Latin, alpha and beta. Every Monday morning, you wake up and go to a place you don't like. You're mourning throughout the day like what people do at funerals. You even say good morning. When you go to school and spell things, you're casting spells and you have to use the right grammar. Grammar comes from the word grimoire, which was a manual for invoking demons. After all the hard work, by the time you get to the weekend, your weekend, you go to church on Sunday and pray to God's Son. When you pray, are you praying to the right God? Or are you offering yourself as prey? English is the most spoken language on earth. A thesaurus has all of the English words in it. I can't tell you what thesaurus means on TikTok, but it's on my YouTube channel. Part 3 of my series on Afghanistan got taken down, so if you want to watch it, it's on my YouTube channel. Part 2 got restored after being taken down, and now you can watch it on TikTok. Don't forget to follow. The English language is a spell, Part 2. The word spelling comes from the root word spell, and the suffix ing. Spelling means to cast a spell. Cursive is derived from the root word curse. You're cursing yourselves with your spelling. When you spell these curses, you form sentences, like a jail sentence. Don't forget to follow. What's causing the giant hexagon-shaped storm on Saturn? Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun. It has a six-sided hexagon storm on its north pole. And the sixth day of the week is Saturday, which used to be called Saturn Day. So you got 666, but we'll talk about that another time. So what's causing this shape? Scientists still don't know, but I think it's obviously cymatics. Cymatics is how sound affects matter, mostly high frequencies. There's a lot of dust on Saturn, and if you look up the sound of Saturn on YouTube, you'll hear a very high-pitched frequency coming from Saturn. Don't forget to follow. A human sacrifice ritual was caught on camera at the Cern facility. The mainstream media labeled it as a mock human sacrifice, but if you look at the top left of the screen, you see a statue of Shiva. Shiva is the Hindu god of destruction. Why is there a religious statue outside of a science facility? Secondly, why are the employees spending their time performing fake human sacrifices? Sorry to break it to you, but it's not fake. And it's not like they were recording it for the internet. They stopped once they knew someone was recording. If you look at the statue, Shiva is standing in the middle of a stargate, but we'll talk about that another time. I can't show you the full sacrifice video on TikTok, but it's on my YouTube channel. Like and follow for part 2. After Joe Biden dies and Kamala Harris takes over as the first female president, Donald Trump will get popped, for lack of a better term. I'm sure most of you have heard of the Illuminati card game. It came out in 1995. Some of the cards have predicted the future. They don't actually predict the future. Everything is just planned out in advance. Anyways, take a look at this card. blonde hair, orange skin, charismatic leader. Does this look familiar? How about now? Notice the little viruses floating around. The name of the card is Enough is Enough, and the text at the bottom reads, Our snipers can drop you.
But enough is enough. It has to be stopped. It has to be stopped now. The American people say, enough is enough. Enough is enough.
It was the American people saying enough is enough. They're fed up.
And then say enough is enough.
Say enough is enough.
Not to mention the movie that came out in 1958.
Tom, how about a fit? Can I get you anything? No, thank you, sir. Are you here about Trump? Yes, sir. What are you going to do about it? Your name is Trump? Dr. Walter Trump. D-U-M-C-S-S-R. I am the only one. Trust me. I can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate.
He gets killed at the end of the movie. You can watch the full movie on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and follow. The Pope is not who you think he is. This is the Pope's staff. 2 snakes wrapped around it, just like Baphomet. On the Pope's robe, there is this horned being. Why would there be a horned person on the robe of someone who worships God?